Hello YouTube, welcome back to Unloved Autos. Today we are going to continue the fleet check. We are in the Unloved Autos Emporium, Building 1, and today we will be looking at the south side. Here we have the area that is nominally dedicated to working on cars. It's where we keep the tools, some of the tools, a lot of extra parts, cleanup supplies, all that good stuff. First car we have here is a 1964 Ford Ranchero. This one belonged to my son Remy originally. He got tired of it because he needed something a little faster and sportier, so I traded it to him for a 2003 Mach 1. This Ranchero is in great shape. Interior is just beautiful. Has a cute little straight six engine in it. You can barely drive highway speeds, but I get a big kick out of it. Next up, we have a 1967 Ford F100 pickup. I bought this one at a Mecum auction a few years ago. It is heavily patinaed. It has a 390 engine in it and a stick shift on the floor, which is a lot of fun. It's a favorite of a lot of people because it just looks so neat. Here we have a 2005 Pontiac GTO. It has about 40,000 miles on it. I originally had a 2005 GTO in red that I bought new and daily drove for a while. Sold it at some point and then kind of regretted doing that and thought I'd find a nicer one with fewer miles on it and brought this into the collection a couple years ago. Next, a 1974 Mercury Cougar. You may recall the earlier video had a 74 Cougar that was a lighter color. This one is the same year, same model. This one though has the Q-Code engine in it, which is a little different motor. It had been called the Cobra Jet previously. By 74, they were just calling it the 4V. This car has 52,000 miles on it. Again, interior is in great shape. This is a car that I bought close to 20 years ago now, sold it, and then a year later bought it back from the same guy who didn't realize I was one who sold it to him. I got kind of a kick out of it because he did some work to it, and I bought it back from him for less than I sold it. Next up, we have a 2003 Chevrolet Corvette. This was an Indy 500 festival car. That means that it wasn't a pace car at the race, but it was one of the cars that they would use to take dignitaries around in front of the crowd with the convertible top down. I originally had a 2000 Corvette in red. That's the only car that I ever ordered new from the factory. And I had it for over 10 years, eventually sold it. And then, like always, I regretted it and wanted to get another one from that same era. This is the last era Corvette that had the pop-up headlights. Just a solid car. It'll always run. And this one's real sharp, real nice. And the miles are pretty low at 36,000. Next, we have a 1975 Plymouth Trail Duster. This was sort of Plymouth's version of the Dodge Ram Charger, which was a competitor to the Blazer and the Bronco back in those days. Yes, that is a convertible top. That white top comes off. It's not the easiest thing to do, but it will come off. It's a phenomenal vehicle. It has a 440 engine in it. It is loud. It's a blast to drive. And it's just fun to start it up indoors because everyone needs ear protection because it just busts their ears open. Next, we have a 1982 Mercury Cougar wagon. Yes, they did make Mercury Cougar station wagons. This one I've had for a very long time now. And Kelly's son drove it as a daily driver for a couple years. It has a straight six engine in it. Has a lot of miles on it, 140,000 miles, but these are so hard to find. It's just a rare car. This one has some patina. The hood especially has a lot of paint coming off it. And I would like to upgrade to a nicer one, maybe the Squire version, Billy Squire. It has the fake bark on the sides, but they are supremely hard to find and they almost never come up for sale. Next, we have another one-year-only Cougar. This one is the 1977 Cougar wagon. This one is lower miles, a much nicer car at 37,000 miles. That's the original bark stickers on the sides. The interior is beautiful. This car came out of New Hampshire. Sometimes it's a good thing being in a car club because someone knows that you like old wagons, Mercury wagons, and they let you know when one comes up for sale. I'm the second owner of this car. The original owner had it for years and years, didn't drive it a whole lot, obviously, because of the low miles. And then when he passed, his daughter wanted to find a good home for it, one that wasn't going to hot rod it or put it in a demolition derby or do bad things. And so I was put in touch with her, and we talked and brought it down here, and now it sits in the collection. A little dusty, but starts up every time. Wonderful car. Next up, we have another Cougar from the same era. You see the similar front end. This one's a 1978. This is the more traditional Cougar. You see a lot more of these. In fact, this is the biggest selling era from 1977 to 1979. This one has 43,000 miles on it. An interior that, again, just looks like new. It has your basic 351 motor in it. So did the last one. Nothing special there. The best thing about these cars is that they're just fine examples of big American boats that float and drive nicely and hug you in comfort. Getting back to the center row that I explained why that exists in a previous video. Here we have another Cougar. This is a newer one in 1990. They only made these Cougar XR7s for 2 years, 89 and 90. It has a supercharged V6 engine in it, a 3.8. And they made a Thunderbird version for a lot longer. But they made the Cougars in only 3 colors, red, white, and black. They're very hard to find in decent shape. This one has pretty low miles on it. And it took me a while to find it. Actually, let me correct myself. It has 104,000 miles on it, but you can't tell. Paint's in great shape. Interior looks great. Just a good car. Here we have the pickup I use. I wouldn't call it daily use, but it's my worker bee. It's a 2023 Dodge, now these days Ram, Rebel Havoc Edition. Havoc's the color. I've had it for less than a year. It has about 2,000 miles on it. While we're here, let's go ahead and take a look outside for a minute. This is the area between buildings 1 and 2. Keep some cars out here that don't fit inside. And in the case of the first 2 here, when we have foul weather in the area, I put these under cover so they don't get any hail damage. The first car we see here is a 2018 Lincoln Continental, black label. That is the nominal daily driver. I use it the most. Kelly drives it a lot. Behind it is our 2016 Ford Flex. This one qualifies as the greatest car that I've ever owned. I put more miles in this car than any other, 139,000. It never, knock on wood, has needed anything other than routine maintenance, new tires, new brakes, that kind of thing when they come due. And it starts all the time. It's not as comfy as it once was because it's just getting old and has a lot of miles on it, but it's really served us well. And they stopped making these cars, sadly, a few years ago, so I don't see me ever getting rid of this one. Here we have my 2010 Ford Mustang GT. This is in sunset gold. We know that I love gold cars and especially gold Mustangs. This is the last year that they ever made a gold Mustang, 2010. It was a 1-year color. This is a car that was a daily of mine for a very long time. It has just under 100,000 miles on it. Next to it is a 1979 Mercury Bobcat, the sister car to the Ford Pinto. You can save your Ford Pinto explosion jokes. Those get pretty old. This one is fairly patinaed. Interior's in nice shape. Starts and runs, smokes a little bit, but I get a kick out of it. And eventually we'll go back inside once I make some room for it. And last but not least for this video, we have my 2018 Ram Power Wagon. That's my towing vehicle. Whenever I have to get the trailer and have to tow something here and there, I use that. It's also a great rock crawler for the very rare occasion that you get out in the snow or the mud. It's built to do that kind of thing. It has just under 10,000 miles on it. Well, that brings us to the end of this video. In the next video, we will launch into building 2 of the Unloved Autos Emporium. Look forward to talking to you then.